Kroger Arts Collective is an organization that focuses on reimagining the Adirondack experience through the power of the arts. We started in 2012, actually, as a small music festival, and in 2016 got our nonprofit status. A few years after that, we got ownership of Sherman's Park, and so now we're here. What takes place here is the Caroga Lake Music Festival, which is the core program, which is the one that's been going now for its 13th season. And we also have year-round programs, community events, like a holiday tree lighting. We'll have things open for the community, including carousel rides. Back in the 1920s, Sherman's was founded. And so it really started out as a big band dance hall and beach. It brought in some incredible artists that a lot of people don't know about. In the 30s and 40s, they had Louis Armstrong here, Duke Ellington, Fletcher Henderson, Tommy Dorsey's band, and they were all hanging out in the kind of main building next to the lake in that original dance hall. And so there's incredible jazz history that's hidden in Caroga, and no one really knows about it. From there became more of the amusement park focus that a lot of people recognize it. That was the cool thing about when we started diving into trying to, look into taking ownership of the park, was realizing that, hey, wasn't just an amusement park. There's actually a huge, rich musical history here and cultural history. You have a gem right here that is really a special place, and we've had legends across all of, music and art here in Caroga. And so it allowed us to really circle back and start to bring that history back to life and see how that could help propel the economy forward and the culture forward in this area. I got connected to this place in Caroga Lake because my grandparents moved here in the early 80s, far before I was born. So every school break, summer and winter break, we would come to Caroga Lake. Sherman's was a place where we always would walk by it. We'd wanted to see what would be going on with it, and once in a while the carousel would be open, but largely it was closed for my childhood, and we'd hear a lot of amazing stories. But I think for people like myself, it was this kind of idea of like, what could we do if we could bring that back to life?
He was like an old man when he was a baby. We all used to say he'd like hang on the swing with his arm just and observe the world going around him. So so I think he was already way ahead of the game in watching and thinking about things that could happen.
Essentially, I come from a musical family. My mom plays the viola, my aunt played the cello, my dad likes to say he plays the radio. But essentially we grew up, playing music together, and naturally, when coming up here, we'd go to festivals, and we would bring friends through Caroga just to stay overnight and enjoy the lake. But that was really it initially.
We'd always drive by Sherman's growing up, and he's like, someday, we're gonna have a concert there, and we're gonna do something. And I was like, you're crazy. That's it's falling apart. In my head, I'm like, I have to get permits, and he's like, yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen. I'm like, okay. So fast forward to college, and Kyle goes, there's the chapel down the street from Grandma's. We really should just have some of our friends come and play a concert. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. Sign me up for that.
And so we ended up having about, I'd say 80 people show up just based on a lawn sign in our front yard and come to the chapel, Caroga Chapel nearby. And that's really when everything started. And I think the musicians realized this is something special. The audience who was there was blown away. And for me, I really started to connect the dots. And so that was a really empowering thing of wow, our love for music and our love for arts and our love for Caroga can actually be one thing that's put together. So right now, we don't have an amphitheater, but we get to do amazing things in this old bumper cart pavilion. So we kind of transform it, built a portable stage in there. We have the audience sit in the bumper cart with us. And it's a really unique spot for music. We played orchestra concerts in there. We've done July 4th programs in there. We've done collaborations with Judy Collins and Leve in there. So we've done some really interesting programs. you know, with the glass back, you can still see the lake behind and watch the sunset.
The sun's engaged to the sky, and my best friends found a new guy. I'm only getting older. I've never had a shoulder to cry on.
Figured out our own interpretation together.
The community aspect is really what defines this place for me, and it's both that, you know, Kyle has handpicked some of both the best quality musicians in terms of artistry, technical ability, but also musicians that are incredibly kind, generous, supportive, and really flexible in what they're able to do. So really cool artist community, and then an amazing community, a larger community of patrons, supporters, concert goers.
What we hope to see over time is continuing to enliven the property with an amphitheater that essentially we've designed with TRW and Consigli, these two firms that are really well known in the region and nationally. But we also were donated another property a quarter mile from here called My Hill, and it was formerly owned by the Shine family. We're looking to build residencies for artists year-round up at My Hill, so we can have these year-round programs where artists can come in, can study their craft, can engage in our local education programs. So it adds a different year-round facet to the organization. So it's not just summer engagement, we're really making an impact throughout the whole year. And we received $1 million from New York State Council on the Arts for the amphitheater. And then at My Hill, we received just recently an $850,000 grant to build a lodge there. So we've received a lot of great state funding and a lot of contributions from donors in the region to help, you know, jumpstart these projects. You should come to visit Kuroga Arts because I can guarantee you'll see something you've never seen before. And whether it's musically, whether it's experiential with taking a carousel ride and listening to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, or getting to talk to the artists up close and personal, I think there's something unique for everyone.